My name is Raman Ganani. I'm the sector manager for healthcare and health science and childcare, and I've got my colleague Dion Broughton here as well, who's the sector manager for health and social care. So the purpose of this webinar is actually to share a high-level overview of the apprenticeship and product services and the services that we have available, and also including the features and benefits of those products and services, how you can make best use of those to prepare your learners for the apprenticeship on program as well as EPA. And these are the ones that are available for health and social care. So moving forward, so this is the one that is available for our overall offer for health and social care. So these are by new apprenticeship standards only. So we've got in care services as well as the health science, although the offer here is showing the standard, but we have still got the frameworks and any offers that were available for frameworks still there, and the frameworks are still valid. So we use the qualifications and learning resources to support you so that you can create a structured and engaged learning experience for your apprentices. So in care services, there are two standards that are currently available and we're offering. One is adult care worker and the other one is lead adult care worker. Adult care worker has got a mandatory qualification, so is the lead adult care worker. And the resources that we have got available for you, one is a handbook, and the other one is EPA practice and prepare resources, and we will be talking about these going forward as well. So these are available for both of the care services standards. For health and science area, we've got 4 different standards, but for you, I think today it will be mainly 3 that you'll be interested in, which are the healthcare assistant practitioner, healthcare support worker, and senior healthcare support worker. Although for IFA route options, the community activator coach also coach activator sits within the health and science area. So we've mentioned that we've also got that available. So healthcare assistant practitioner has got a mandatory qualification, which is the higher nationals, that is available. And healthcare support worker, the standard doesn't require a mandatory qualification. So the optional and recommended qualification is the level 2 in adult care that is available because it maps and it can be used for this standard. And we have also got the EPA practice and prepare resources. Senior healthcare support worker, there's a mandatory qualification and that is available, which is the level 3 senior healthcare support qualification. And we've got EPA practice and prepare resources for that as well. Okay. So just to look at it, how you can make the best use of these resources that are available, what this picture depicts is a learner journey. So if you think about the learner journey, you have the initial assessment and you take on and enroll a learner on a program on an apprenticeship standard, and you start them off for the on program. So on program, we have got, as we already said, the qualifications, which are either mandatory or optional, and you've also got the functional skills. And we've also devising now, and we will talk about this a bit further, is the paid for or other digital learning content that's available to support the learner to take them through this journey all the way to Gateway. And we encourage you to use these resources right from the day 1 on the on program. And it's not just what the resources have been mentioned here. We've got EPA practice and prepare to try and embed those within the on program learning journey to make the best use of those. You've got the training support that's available as well. That's for you as well as, you know, for the learners, for trainers and employers throughout the apprenticeship journey. We've got lots of webinars that are recorded. We've got lots of different materials that are available. We do sector forum events as well. So there's a lot of training support available for employers as well as training providers. And moving forward to the endpoint assessment, we've got high quality EPAs designed, ready to deliver for each specific new standard. So we've already told you which ones are available, and the practice and prepare resources are also designed to meet those EPA requirements as well. So taking it forward to each of those areas and what resources are available and how to make the best use. So on program delivery, we've created a range of options, as it says, to support the on-program delivery so that you can make the best use of what is best for your learner, which meets the needs. And most of these have been created in the employment context, so they're not just as a standalone generic, although some of the things, behaviors, go across different standards. So the options are complementary to each other that are available, such as on-program qualification and apprenticeship handbooks, and the digital learning content that we will be delivering through Apprentice 360, the learning content. So they all complement each other. So it's not that that is in duplication, or it's in terms of sitting separately to each other. So on-program qualifications is the specifications that you use. The apprenticeship handbooks are designed for the teachers and trainers can use it, as well as the learner handbooks can be used as well. So those three are specifically for on-program delivery. So on-program qualifications for adult care worker, we've got level 2 diploma in care, mandatory lead adult care worker, the level 3 diploma in adult care. Healthcare support worker, as I mentioned before, the level 2 diploma in care, which is used for adult care worker, is a recommended qualification because there's no mandatory for that standard. Senior healthcare support worker is the BTEC level 3 diploma in healthcare support. And these qualifications, the link is there if you want to go and look for these qualifications in this when you get this presentation. So what are the benefits of these on-program qualifications? I mean, the on-program qualifications, as it says here, for providers and employers both, it's a guidance for you because it gives you a clear idea of the knowledge, skills and behaviors that are required to be delivered so that the learner is prepared to meet the requirements of their apprenticeship standard. It reduces your time spent on on-program planning and assessment. So that specification gives you clear guidance and any surround support material as well. So it helps you and it aids you to plan the delivery for the learners. It also provides the support for gateway evaluation, that what are the requirements of the gateway, and sign off through successfully completed assessments that they've done throughout their journey. It provides the evidence to meet the 20% off the job requirements, whether it's a qualification or whether it's the digital learning content or whether it's any activities learners are doing through different methods and means. So for apprentices, obviously the benefits are that they get a recognized qualification and certification for their on-program learning. The apprentices develop the technical knowledge, and also they're able to apply that knowledge in a real context when they're working as an apprentice. And so that knowledge gained can be clearly applied in their workplace. It helps the apprentice to develop the surround skills, personal effectiveness, so that they can focus on behavior and transferable skills that they're gaining as throughout this journey. And in our digital content, we have focused a lot more on behavior and transferable skills and as well, so that the learners can gain those and be able to showcase those in their endpoint assessment. Again, qualifications allow the transferability across working contexts and different employers. So any knowledge, skills and behaviors that they've gained, it's portability of that as well in different working contexts. Apologies for this, there's a slight lag in moving my presentation, so I'm just trying. Apologies, guys, something's happened to my presentation, so I'm just going to try and maybe escape and come back in. It's frozen. Okay, let's just do that. There we go. That's better. Okay, so The on-program qualifications, as we've already said, it's mandatory or optional qualifications that are designed to develop the technical knowledge, skills and behaviours. Again, they're coherent yet flexible, for delivering the high quality learning, and these are mapped to the apprenticeship standards, so they where it is mandatory, and obviously the recommended qualification for the level 2 for the healthcare support worker is not necessarily. So my question to you all quickly is, and you can put this in a chat box, it would be really helpful to know that although it's not mandatory, those of you who are using healthcare level 2 standard, the healthcare support worker standard, would a level 2 healthcare specific qualification, a regulated qualification, be of any value to employers and learners? It will not be necessarily the funding, but again, in a regulated qualification format, would this add value or would this be useful? Give you a couple of minutes to answer that question, I'm sure. If you could add in the chat box, that would be really helpful. Yes or no would just suffice. Okay. Right. Thank you for that. That's really helpful. Okay, we can move forward then, and then we can look into it. For if some of you are saying that that would add value, then we will be definitely reviewing this in light of today's session. Okay. Right. So this is the apprenticeship handbooks that I mentioned that are available, and these handbooks are specifically designed to support and enrich the apprentice's journey and should be used right from the on-program, within the on-program, whether it's for supporting the learners to do their learning journey or for providers and assessors to plan what activities they can be using as formative assessments, or how you can, as we said, it will aid you in planning that delivery as well. So it provides visually engaging learning content, which is mapped to knowledge and skill requirements of the apprenticeship standard. And also it allows them to then look at it, how these can be then applied and how these attributes, the different attributes and behaviors are embedded within that as well. So it's an ideal course companion, really. So this is available on our website, and the link is there underneath. Just to show you, I'm just going to click on it and hopefully it'll work. So on our new apprenticeship resource page, it tells you sector by sector. So it's not just for health and social care, what EPA practice and prepare resources and handbooks are available. So you can have a look at your leisure at this. Okay. So have a look at these by all means, and let us know if you've got any feedback as well for these resources. Okay. So the benefits, as I think I've kind of already alluded to, is it helps you, it drives the delivery of that technical content and for the off-the-job training. So it, for you as employers and providers, and specifically if there is, if you're not going through a provider, you're an employer provider, and how you can embed that within the learner working alongside them working. It enables you to make them, like I said, most effective use of that direct contact time, whether it's one-to-one or in a group, and pass on that knowledge to the learner. And for apprentices themselves, obviously it helps in the learner engagement, because these are really visually appealing and learners can get into activities, and it helps them to develop that understanding of that learning content through the different design features that are within these books. Content is available in print as well as online as an active book. So I think there is kind of at the back of the book, like a barcode and scan barcode that you can download the ebook version of it. It helps the apprentices to put the knowledge into practice through real life activities, so they're very contextualized to the sector, so they can actually look at it, how it works, and be able to apply, and that would help them for their endpoint assessment as well. So it allows them, it helps them to understand what are the requirements, and for the EPA, for example, in professional discussion, how they can showcase the application of that knowledge, technical knowledge, in the context. So if they start doing it through the on program and using these, then they're better prepared for that. And again, we've made the links with Pearson EPA specifications as well in these, so they're really mapped across those. So when you come to use the EPA specifications, it helps the learner as well as the providers both to understand how they're aligned to each other. So Apprentice 360 is a digital learning platform that is purely designed to deliver an engaging and accessible personalized learning experience for apprentice. So this has been developed in partnership with the SkillPill, which is a market-leading digital content expert. And the way this works is that it's a high-quality, bite-sized modules or learning, and it's mobile. It's optimized learning content that's been mapped to the standard, whether it's behaviors, whether it's skills, or whether it's knowledge. Obviously, skills, mostly people learn in their workplace, but the technical knowledge and the application of that, as well as the behaviors. So it includes animated videos. You will have a speak preview later on in one of the slides, infographics with images, interactive comic strips, and quizzes and instant feedback. So formative assessments happen all the time, and support templates and interactive worksheets that can be again used. So if you were planning a lesson, for example, you could ask the learners to do that module at the end of it and bring their results. So anything that you have used that will tell you whether that learning has been effective or not as well. So it can be used for that. So again, on our website page for Apprentice 360, it tells you exactly what I've just said as well. And there's a take a peek here, which is available as well, but I'll show you that in a minute in another slide as well. So you can have a look at it, and as more stuff is coming on board, then you will be made aware of that. So you can sign up for the Apprentice 360 through this page at the bottom as well. So if you want to know more about the 360 updates, please make sure you've signed up for it. Okay. So what are the benefits of this Apprentice 360? So it's a bespoke learning content that's been mapped to the knowledge and behaviors and the outcomes of the apprenticeship standards. So it guides you, again, like I've been saying all along, is in the delivery. So it helps you to plan. It helps you to make use of these resources in your planning and delivery of that on-program content, whichever way, whether it's a qualification or whether it's a non-mandatory qualification, optional qualification. So you can pick and choose what is required. And again, some of it you may use and some of it you may not, but it really aids you. It's mapped to the Pearson on-program qualification. It's accessible, and it gives you the reporting to track the learner progress and achievement, like I said before, because formative assessment is built into it through quizzes and through interactive worksheets as well. So for employers, again, it's an accessibility of online learning, which is less disruptive for the business. So because it's portable, it is available through different platforms, doesn't have to be on the computer. So the learner can really engage in learning on site. They don't have to have like an hour set aside or a full day set aside. They can, because it's bite-sized modules, they can use it as and when. It reduces the time spent on the content delivery, so meaning high value learning activities can take place. And they take priority during the direct contact time. So if as an assessor, I know in my days, if I had only an hour, then I can do some delivery and then engage the learner to extend that learning outside of that hour that I was spending through this medium. It provides opportunities for managers and workplace mentors to view how much learning, because they will have a dashboard view of what they've done and how much they've done and how they've performed in the formative assessments as well. And it helps them to be more involved in off-the-job training as well. And apprentices themselves, again, it's like I said, it's accessible from desktop or mobile and anytime, anywhere. And I have to say, I think most of the learners now carry a phone and tablet or whatever, so it's always useful. And my personal experience, I use this on my train journeys and travel, use the bite-sized learning through different mediums. So it's visually stimulating, it's interactive, it's bite-sized content that really maximizes engagement and give apprentices the control of their own learning. And the content is very much focused on exploring and nurturing the behaviors, transferable skills, and effectiveness in the modern workplace. And that's, I think, the skills that most employers are looking for. So this is really making the best use of what skills we need to develop in the modern workforce. So this is one of the digital learning content that we've developed. This is just a sneak preview for you on one of the behaviors. So I'll just play that. I hope you can all hear it, is my question.
Inform its direction and approach. Goals are guiding principles, but principles aren't something you can measure, and without measurements, it can be hard to know if you've succeeded. This is where objectives come into play. Objectives are specific, quantifiable, and have to be met within a set period of time.
Okay, so that was a very quick sneak preview of it, but as you can see, it's not too many words on there. It's quick, fast pace, and it's only a few quick snapshots of the things that they really need to know, but it extends their understanding of one of the behaviors, like what are goals, what are objectives, and so this was very short. This is not the full video, so have a look and let us know what you think. Okay. I'll just take a little pause. I think you've been asking questions. So before I move on to the endpoint assessment, if anybody's got any questions for the on-program bit and the resources that we have and the Apprentice 360, the handbooks. Okay, no questions coming through, so it was clear as mud, I would take it. And okay, so moving forward to the endpoint assessment, again, we've taken the same approach. We want to support you, but endpoint assessment doesn't start just after the gateway. It starts right the way from the on-program journey, and we're encouraging all of you to make use of those resources because they've been mapped to EPA and the standards. So an ESFA approved endpoint assessment as an organization we are, and we really take it seriously in terms of planning, the apprenticeship planning, making sure that we have regular touch points with employers and training providers to make sure that the apprentices are fully prepared for the assessment. And this is why the resources have been created, so that it starts the journey on the day one, not on the day 11 of the 12. So EPA resources and documents and guidance are available, practice and prepare resources are available, and we've got Smart EPA, a platform that is used currently for for having those touch points with you. So all our standards are on that link that we currently offer at the bottom, that you can have a look at it. So our service starts from EPA planning all the way through post-result service and the feedback that we provide for you, for the learners at the moment, and for the future learners as well. So the EPA document and guidance, what's available is you will have access to all of these guidance so that you can understand what you need to do to prepare that apprentice for the endpoint assessment. So the first of all is the EPA specification for each apprenticeship standard. So EPA specification is available on the website. It actually contains what you need to prepare the learner, brief introduction to the different assessment components, and a brief introduction to the guidance. But the details of the grading and details of the content and the details are in the additional resource document, which is also specific to each standard, which includes things like evidence requirement for each assessment component, whether it's a professional discussion interview, or so what evidence the learner needs to bring forward to that. The content that you need to build in your own program to support the delivery so that the learner is prepared for that endpoint assessment. The portfolio guidance and templates, where that is a requirement. Assessment briefs or sample assessments for apprentices. If it's like on-screen test, sample assessment materials are available for those, or paper-based tests, multiple choice test or short answer question test. So sample assessments are available, and also the online training events to help prepare for EPA, like I mentioned before. We do some specific webinars. We also do sector events and sector forums as well, where we do a little bit of introduction to standardization as well, to look at the learner work and look at the grading. So all these documents and guidance is available to you. The only one thing I would say, going back to that slide, is that these materials, apart from the specification, are only available through the Smart EPA platform once you have signed the contract with us. So please bear in mind the additional resource documents are only available to you when you have signed the contract with us and onboarded, and because they're available through Smart EPA platform once you've been onboarded onto the Smart EPA platform. So what are the practice and prepare resources that we have? So practice and prepare resources, again, support across specific standards. They're available for customer service practitioner, for adult care worker, lead adult care worker, team leader, supervisor. And again, like I said, for adult care worker ones, you can also use it for healthcare support worker because it's mapped to that recommended qualification. So it's worth looking into those. So it contains multiple choice questions, synoptic test videos, exemplar activity sheets, PowerPoint presentations, and these are mainly designed, again, to enhance the knowledge or hone in any essential skills that are required to prepare that learner for that endpoint assessment. So again, the link to the website is available there, where you can find those and access those. So the endpoint is our assessment service is the next one. Again, we have said it, we provide that comprehensive end-to-end support all the way from when your learner, if you're doing the own program with somebody else and then just coming to us for EPA, or whether you're doing both with us, that service is available to you. It's a consistent, reliable service. So again, we want to take away that pain from you so that you can just concentrate on supporting your apprentice. So we work with occupationally competent assessors, and they're not there to trick you in any way. They're personable, they're there to support you, and we all have got the apprentice's best interest at heart because we want them to succeed. And for that reason, if a learner has not achieved the outcome that you were expecting as an employer or provider, or the learner themselves, you receive a rich feedback. And we provide a quick turnaround of results as well. On average, it's around just under 10 days that we aim to give you the result and give you the feedback as well, so that if the learner hasn't achieved the outcome, or if you feel that it's not the outcome you were expecting, you can prepare the learner better for the resit if that's required, if that's where you want to progress to. So that progression and development again is really key, and that support and feedback is really key to that progression and development for the learner. Again, it allows you to have the flexibility in deciding whether the assessments are done remotely or face-to-face, because we've got, for certain adult care standards, that we have got both options available to you, that the interview or the discussion can be done either face-to-face or remote, depending on the learner needs, depending on your needs, depending on the venue, the location, with the facilities that you have available. So it's the flexibilities available to you to meet those needs. It's aiming to provide you a seamless experience from all the way from EPA planning to delivery through using that smart EPA platform. It's the apprentice management system where you get the full support in terms of adding your learners, adding your organization, and then planning the dates for EPA and making any changes. So it's not that you need to wait and you need to have, you can plan on that, using that system, what's most useful and beneficial to you and the learner. So what is Smart EPA after all of that? It's basically, as I said, it's just an online endpoint assessment management system. It's delivery software that has been developed by smart apprentices. Some of you may be using a smart assessor and may be aware of that, so it's the same platform that's used. And it's purpose-built to meet your needs by offering end-to-end delivery process for the EPA, right from, like I said, adding your learners on, planning the dates of delivery, planning the dates of the endpoint assessment, and working and planning that endpoint day for that learner, what shape it will take, what time it will take, and all of those. And our EPA delivery team, along with the Smart EPA, helps you. It allows you to stay one step ahead of in your planning. So you can think ahead that when the learner is due to finish their on-program delivery, so you can have a projected date and planned date, and that helps us with our planning as well in terms of having the assessors available to you. It allows you to access all the documents that we mentioned before, the additional resource guidance documents, sample assessments, so they're all in one place. You don't need to look at it different places to access those documents. Again, it's administrative efficiencies that you can achieve, so you as assessors and providers can concentrate on supporting your learner through the EPA journey and have a positive experience rather than focusing on what you need to do in terms of planning all of this. Okay, so that was all I wanted to say, and if you need any further information about the apprenticeship solutions that we have and on program or endpoint assessment, you can contact us through email or look at more information on our website, or there's a phone number for you to contact as well.